Dad, when people think of Hamilton ETFs, terms that come to mind would be things like income, covered calls, maybe a little bit or a modest amount of leverage. There's more to the story than that, isn't there?
There sure is, Brandon. Those are the most common things that a lot of people think of. But Hamilton ETFs has a full lineup of funds that are designed specifically for long-term investors that have a very strict focus on high-quality companies. They're low cost. They don't use covered calls. They don't use a leverage structure. And that is a part of Hamilton I think a lot of people aren't familiar with, actually.
Well, we want to thank Hamilton ETFs for sponsoring this video and supporting the channel. Let's dive into that today, Dad. And I want to start with the champions lineup. The tagline here just jumps out to me. Invest like a champion. It's kind of a sports themed thing that I like. I'm wearing my Air Jordan shirt today, Dad.
Very nice.
And let's dive in, Dad, to ticker CMVP to kick things off. I love the ticker there. It's MVP, right? Like most valuable player. We have actually covered these on the channel previously. This is the Hamilton Champions Canadian Dividend Index ETF. And as the name implies, this is a fund essentially tracking a list of high quality Canadian dividend stocks. What jumps out to me right off the bat, Dad, here is we see the very standard and modest yield because as you mentioned earlier, this suite, we're not applying leverage, we're not applying covered calls, and that totally checks out as this is a good fit for investors who want low cost exposure to Canadian dividend growing companies, tax efficiency from Canadian eligible dividends, and lower volatility with the potential for long-term outperformance. And Dad, what's super interesting about this is if we dive into the index characteristics that CMVP is tracking, companies with an average market cap of $99 billion plus. So we're talking here are big mega companies. Companies with a 10% or more portfolio average annual dividend growth, so nice dividend growers, and of course stability, something we always factor in. Companies with at least 6 years of increasing dividends and no decreases. Now, Dad, we'll pop up on the screen here a matrix, a grid, let's call it. Take a look, for example, at the max drawdown, right? If we're just to look essentially from peak to trough, when we do go through these market corrections or downturns, this index, which is the Selective Canada Dividend Elite Champions Index, relatively in line, a little bit less than the S&P TSX 60. But take a look at this time to recovery, Dad. A faster recovery from trough to peak, 632 days versus the 1709 days of the TSX 60. So a glaring difference. We all know how critical it is. To dive in briefly, take a look at essentially a dissection of this fund. Names you're going to recognize from a sector allocation breakdown, very standard of what you'd expect for a Canadian dividend fund. You have your financials coming in at the biggest segment, the materials sector coming in next, industrials, energy, and so on. Now, the last thing that I will call out, Dad, before turning it over to you, is if we were to look at just the index's performance, looking back and comparing it to that over the TSX 60, we do see the notable outperformance when compared against the TSX 60. So that's the overview there of CMVP on the Canadian side. But Dad, I'll turn it over to you to talk about the American dividend exposure for those that are interested.
Yeah, well, in a very similar strategy, Brandon, they have the Hamilton Champions US Dividend Index ETF. The ticker here is SMVP, and very similar strategy to Canada, but because of the nature of the companies, a few different characteristics I want to throw up on the screen here. You talked about market capitalization in Canada. In this fund here, or this index, the established companies have an average market cap of 218 billion, so substantially bigger. That makes sense because of the different markets. Dividend growth, same there, 10% plus portfolio average annual dividend growth. But on the stability side of things, they invest in companies with 25 plus years of increasing dividend. And importantly here, no decreases. You know, you look back at some of the tricks that these corporations play. If they've got a long streak of dividends, they'll cut their dividends. Sometimes, you know, I've seen down to a penny just to keep that streak alive. None of those tricks are going to work with this fund here. Now, you also looked at a matrix there, Brandon, of the index performance and risk. And just like you saw in Canada, if you look at it here, the max drawdown from the peak to trough drawdown, 48.5% for the Selective US Dividend Elite Champions Index, S&P 500 55.3. So a notable difference there, but the big thing here, time to recovery from the trough to peak, 575 days versus 1,120 days when you look at the S&P 500. So particularly in times like this where there's a lot of volatility out there, I know people are concerned about a potential drop in the markets. This is the type of holding, the type of investments that, at least if you use history as a guide, should provide some stronger recovery there. Now, when I look at the actual holdings, you can see consumer staples makes up the biggest part of the portfolio. That would probably come as no surprise. Industrials, healthcare, materials. You look at some of the top holdings. You can sort of see down the chart here what you would get if you own the portfolio there. I'll also put a little snapshot of some of the U.S. dividend champions on your screen here. A lot of people are going to be familiar with the companies here and probably feel comfortable. So those are sort of the two flagship funds in the champions lineup, and that sort of gives you a good overview of them there. Now, they also have some specific sector strategies that they use. They have 4 sector champions. I'll just go through those now quick, Brandon. They've got the Hamilton Champions US Technology Index ETF, QMVP. They've got the Hamilton Champions Canadian Utilities Index ETF, UMVP. They've got the Canadian Bank Equal Weight Index ETF, HEB. And then they have the Hamilton Champions Canadian Financials Index ETF, that is HFN. And a couple of these really jump out to me when, especially you and I are on this call here, and we're obviously different generations. And these funds, they employ the same philosophy as the two that we just looked at previously, but are more focused on those sectors. Now, from the perspective of a father and a son, we have a lot of overlap in our portfolios, or at least we did until some recent changes you made. But one of the big things that the characteristics of different types of funds would be more appropriate for you than they probably would be for me. And I'm speaking of QMVP, which is
The tech.
the tech, which is probably more up your alley, and then the UMVP, which is the utilities fund, which is more up my alley. And that's probably because of the stability, the regulatory oversight, the consistency with which the dividends in that sector would be paid versus the tech sector. When we're looking at someone who's maybe in a retirement stage, then those types of things become more important. The stability, the income awareness of UMVP is something that, I guess I'd politely call it later stage investors would probably use. It sort of on the same
The
page
older
as what I'm
folk.
thinking there. Yeah, the older folks. I guess we'll go with that. Yeah.
Not always older, but more conservative, let's call it, is probably a better term. And that's exactly it. I mean, even amongst these 6, the array that we just covered here,
Yeah.
tons of different options that would align with a certain investor's goals and priorities.
Yeah.
Again, all on the same thread of your low cost exposure via high quality assets. So
Yeah, and that's
very fascinating.
That's the key to this whole lineup here. Brian, I just want to take a quick look at UMVP, because this is one of the funds that piques my interest the most. And when you look at the makeup of the fund, I'll put on your screen here some of the bigger names that they hold in the portfolio. These are blue chip companies that, again, a lot of people, if you're watching this video, you probably pay a bill every single month to some of these companies. This fund itself sort of expands beyond the traditional utilities. They include the telecommunications, they include the pipelines. So these are sectors that are similar, but they do enhance the diversification of that.
And that's great. But why don't we take a look over at the tech fund for any of our younger viewers watching or more aggressive viewers? Because of course, same idea, but more growth potential. I mean, looking at these holdings, they'll jump out to you. It's the polar opposite, if you will. We're looking at the big tech names, Alphabet, Broadcom, Apple, Meta, basically the companies pushing the world forward in terms of innovation and AI. These are some of the most profitable companies in the US. Obviously, a nice big focus on the Meg 7. And what I do want to mention here, Dad, is you see the balanced allocation, roughly between 2 to 6% to avoid any over concentration into any specific holding. And Dad, to maybe open up the discussion here, how would these funds, in your opinion, could an investor consider using these? Like, how would they fit into the portfolio? Is it a full portfolio? Is it a piece of the portfolio? A tool maybe to be used?
Yeah, well, I would say definitely a tool to be used. And I think in virtually all cases, you want to have different pieces of the puzzle so that your portfolio isn't doing the same thing all the time. I would look at these almost like a complement to some broad index, at least the ones we just looked at. Are you talking about QMVP or UMVP? Those would be a complement to the broader indexes, the ones we looked at out of the gate there. If you look at these as a family, you can use the CMVP, you can use the UMVP, you can build that core and then expand into some of these sectors to broaden, more concentrated positions that you might want to take in any particular industries, and that could be more suitable to the individual investor, right?
That checks out. And I think just basically the overall messaging and I guess key takeaways that we'd want to leave, the viewers with, for maybe those that are hearing about this suite for the first time is, Hamilton ETFs as a provider of ETFs, I mean, they are not just an income provider, right?
yeah.
The Champion Suite, it represents essentially the growth side of investing, and something that, again, as a younger investor myself, I still consider myself young. I'm 30 now, but longer term horizon, it's like right up my alley. The type of things that I think someone with similar goals to myself would be aiming for. And yeah, although this may be a little lesser known part of the lineup, a very, very interesting one worth taking a look at. Like, we highly encourage you folks, anyone watching, to explore further. We will, of course, include links down below, as we always do, to the Champions page, to any of the funds that we discussed today. But like I said, it's refreshing to see options which maybe don't include the covered calls and the leverage, and you're just looking at the modest, dividend returns, basically your broad-based funds, understanding that they are focused in on the high quality assets. It's a really nice change up.
I agree, and I think that's key to this video here is just sort of maybe taking the blinders off and looking at. Generally, when you're building a portfolio, you're going to have different types of assets in it. That's kind of my strategy anyway. So this is a way that Hamilton sort of has those options there for you to build that out. So yeah, I'm glad that we're able to do this.
Well, hey, as mentioned, thank you, Hamilton ETF, for sponsoring this video once again and supporting the channel. We will include links to everything that we talked about down below. Encourage you guys to leave your thoughts and comments. Do any of the names covered today jump out at you, look interesting? Be sure to leave a comment down below. But as always, Dad, we thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next video.